Hey guys, it's Cameroon and welcome back to another video. It's been a couple of days since the mid-season update came out and I thought it would be a good idea to give my current thoughts on the season so far. I did one of these for the first week of the season, and since there's been a couple of updates with balancing, hero mastery missions, and events, I just want to talk about some Overwatch right now and maybe get some discussion going too. So let's get right into it. I'll first start with the events, and I'm gonna have to say they've been quite lackluster to say the least. The events have felt empty and the rewards have been mainly filler items. So far we've had 3 events, 2 at launch and 1 in the mid-season update. The first 2 events were Underworld and the Alari launch event, both in which were just not that good. The Alari launch event didn't even have any special mode, it was just no limits. Plus, they didn't even give a free epic skin for Alari for completing the challenges like they've done in previous events. For example, Lifeweavers in Season 4. The rewards for the event were just filler items, and that kinda sucks. Then moving on to the Underworld event, we did get an awesome Brig skin for completing some challenges, which I'm very happy about. However, the actual PvE mode was just not it, in my opinion. The mode felt empty in terms of story, it felt shorter and definitely less impactful than an archive mission. I had fun the first time around, but after that, I really didn't care for the game mode. I didn't even play all of the game modifiers because the mission itself just wasn't that fun. The devs said this mode was supposed to be their highly replayable mode. I don't think that's the case at all. The easiest way to put it is that archives did it better, the missions and the challenge modes for them. And then the last event was for the hero mastery missions, and sadly the challenges rewarded more filler items, which is just meh. I don't have much to say about that event any more than that. I will say the XP giveouts for all of the events were okay, so I'll give them credit for that, and I'll talk about hero mastery missions as a whole a little later in depth. Now, I know we have the anniversary event coming up soon, so hopefully they bring back more than just the Overwatch 2 limited time modes, because I'm sorry, but would you rather Battle for Olympus, Star Watch, and Prop Hunt, or all of the modes again like they did in Overwatch 1 with Junkenstein, Archives, Lucio Ball, Hunter vs Yeti, the list goes on. Also, the rewards have to be good for this anniversary event, so please Blizzard, give us some Overwatch credits and a skin so everyone can feel like they're getting more stuff. And maybe, since it's an anniversary, a little bit of Overwatch coins. Rocket League does it. I'm just saying. Moving on, I have to talk about progression. If you've watched any of my previous thoughts on season videos, you'll know that game progression is a very hot topic for me. I need a reason in-game for me to come back, and since Overwatch 2 launched, there wasn't even any major sense of progression for the longest period of time. The only thing you could do was level up a battle pass. And I'm gonna be honest, that left an awful taste in my mouth because it felt like the game was just shoving that battle pass down my throat because it was the only thing to do. You could argue competitive, but I don't play that mode because it isn't that good, and it's pretty much quick play with a little symbol that goes up and down after 5 wins or 15 losses. They need more incentives besides gold weapons because that's just not enough for me to play it. I know they're going to be changing it, I don't know when, but they are, but until then, I'm just not going to play competitive. But Season 6 changed this problem by adding player progression, which I have to say just may be my favorite addition in this whole season. You can level up your heroes, game modes, and so much more. They give you rewards as you level each hero so you can showcase who you main or who you're really good with. Progression introduced another weekly challenge that gives you 150 Overwatch credits. Like, that's awesome. You also always get to see your highlight intro at the end of each match, which is just a great way to see it a little bit more. Overall, it's fun to be rewarded for just playing the game, and this new progression system does that. And now it's a good time to actually move on to hero mastery missions. Originally, I said that this mode felt a little empty, but I've had some time to think and play more of it, and I've got to say I actually really like it. I found myself trying to master some of the missions like Reinhardt's agent course, and I was having a lot of fun with it, constantly trying to optimize which enemies to take out, when to charge, and more things like that. But it's not even just the missions that are cool with hero mastery. They've added more challenges that are separate from the limited time mode ones for each hero in hero mastery, so you can earn another avatar, name card, and title to show people that you've done something other players may have not done yet. And that's really cool, because then you can tie that into the player progression system, and you've got this awesome combination where you've leveled up, let's say, your Tracer so much, and then have done all of our hero mastery stuff too. And so you're rocking like the hero mastery profile icon, but then you're rocking the name card tied to the player progression. Leaderboards are also an amazing addition too. I still hold a place in top 500 for the Agent Ryan course, so if you want to get a perfect score on that as well, check this video out on the top right. It goes to the perfect score run. Now, the last major thing I want to talk about is the balance of this season. I don't really know how I feel about it. Like, I don't find myself complaining too much about hero balance. There are, of course, outliers like Orisa when she was super strong, and now we have Zarya with her projective barrier buffs that are a little scary, but other than that, I do like most of the changes that the dev team are doing, and nothing screams, this is a huge mistake or anything. Mei's buff is a little on the fence for me. I don't think a melee should activate the explosion of Deep Chill. Like, hitting someone with an icicle is a lot harder than just punching. I'm not wrong with that, right? I feel like you can hit melee way more often than an icicle. But yeah, hero balance is alright. However, game balance is a whole other story. As many of you know, I played a lot of tank, especially late Overwatch 1 and early Overwatch 2. I call myself a Ryan main, even though I'm not playing much tank at all these days. And that's because the tank role is just awful to play, and I don't know how to fix it. Because as much as I love 6v6, and I still want it back, it could create even more problems that may make tank feel awful still. But at least I'd have a partner backing me up again, or peeling back to protect supports or the DPS. There's just so many tanks in the game that feel like they've been left behind in Overwatch 1. Like Reinhardt is a perfect example of that. Yes, he can work well in control in other maps that Brawl or Rush are strong in, but think about his kit. And then put him on Havana. What is Ryan gonna do until the third point? I think a lot of tanks suffer from this problem, and they just need more changes to fit into Overwatch 2. And then there's Counterwatch, which is another problem, and I feel like so many tanks just want to play their tank and feel like they can't, and that sucks. And then, if you're losing the fight, the tank is usually the one to be blamed. You could be trying to give it your all by swapping to every tank hero, trying to give your team the advantage, while everyone else on your team is having a grand old time staying on the heroes they want to play. Like, there are situations where I think a support hero could swap and make the game for the tank a lot easier, but they'll probably not do it. It seems that tanks in Overwatch 2 are the ones expected to conform to everyone else, and not the whole team conforming to each other. Like, let's just say I want to play Rush or Brawl with Ryan, or maybe even Ramatra, and one of my supports goes Lucio. That's awesome, because I'm thinking, okay, I can lock Ryan and let the other support know we plan some Rush or Brawl. Then that other support locks Mercy. What am I supposed to do with that? Like, why couldn't you go BAP, Ana, Kiriko, even Moira? This isn't a dig at Mercy players, I'm just using that hero as an example. It's a constant thing you deal with when you're playing tank, and I know supports can feel this way too when it comes to someone playing Echo or Pharah. You want to play your support hero, but they want someone to play Mercy, and you're thinking, why can't you play somebody to help the whole team? I just personally think that tank experiences is way more than any other role. And overall, this whole situation creates too much pressure for the solo tank, and there's no real reward for playing it. Because for the most part, you just exist to soak up damage, abilities, and CC. It's an awful experience for me, and I feel for some others too. But yeah, that's enough about tank, because I'm gonna get riled up too much. It makes me sad thinking about how bad it is to play tank at the moment. For me, I should say that, because other people may enjoy it, which is fine. Moving on, I don't have any minor things to talk about, plus I don't own the invasion mission, so I'm not gonna give my thoughts on that. I think ending on this whole tank situation is a good spot to end on, because I've been holding that in for far too long, and this is the major talking point I think of this whole video. Anyways, this season so far is okay. I definitely think Season 5 was better though, like that season just hit different for me, besides tank of course. I'm not having a bad time playing Overwatch this season. I'm definitely playing it less, but when I get on the game, I'm still having a lot of fun playing DPS and support. I'm gonna give this season a 7 out of 10 so far. The events weren't that good, but the game itself ain't too shabby at the moment. Now, let me know how you all are feeling about Season 6 in the comments below. My opinions on this season aren't the only ones, and I know some of you are definitely going to disagree with me, especially on the tank opinion, so I'd love to hear why. Every opinion matters, and this is the point of these videos. It's to get discussion going. I want you to express how you feel, and if you disagree with me, that's great, because everyone's experiences are different, and I like to hear other perspectives. But of course, if you like the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. It means a lot to me, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye-bye.